How to Outsmart Everyone, the timeless strategy of Miyamoto Musashi. In today's hyper-connected world, it feels like the rules change every minute. Information floods us. Social pressure suffocates. People react faster than they think, racing against each other in a blind sprint for relevance. And in the middle of this chaotic noise, one truth remains unchanged. It's not the strongest who prevails. It's the calmest, the most focused, the most strategic. That's where Miyamoto Musashi enters. More than a legendary samurai, he was a mind far ahead of his time, a master not only of the sword, but of psychology, strategy, and perception. He didn't just win battles, he reshaped the entire concept of what it means to win. And in a world where we fight fewer wars with swords and more with thoughts, decisions, and emotions, Musashi's legacy might be your most valuable weapon. From orphan to strategist, forged by adversity. Born into a divided Japan plagued by political unrest and endless civil wars, Musashi didn't inherit peace. He inherited chaos. He lost his parents early and was forced to navigate the world on his own terms. By the age of 13, he fought and won his first duel. But unlike other warriors of his time, what set him apart wasn't his aggression, it was his mind. Where others trained to strike harder, Musashi trained to see deeper. To him, each confrontation was more than survival. It was a study of behavior, emotion, and timing. His path was forged not only on the battlefield, but within himself. Every mistake became insight, every duel a test of internal mastery, and from that furnace of pressure the mind of a genius emerged. The battlefield is mental, not just physical. Most people live reactive lives, acting only when provoked, thinking only when pressured. Musashi rejected this weakness. He saw that the greatest battles aren't fought outside but within, the war between impulse and intention, between chaos and clarity. He became a master of what we now call cognitive strategy, a silent mastery of the mind. To Musashi, the sword was only an extension of thought. If the mind was scattered, the sword was weak. But if the mind was centered, sharp, adaptable, and present, no opponent could match it. He didn't fight to overpower, he fought to expose. And once he saw the weakness in your thinking, the duel was already over. This concept is more relevant now than ever. In relationships, in negotiations, in career decisions, the one who remains psychologically composed always holds the upper hand. Musashi taught us that strength without awareness is noise. But clarity, even in silence, is devastatingly effective. Preparation is power. Outsmart before you engage. Musashi never entered a duel blindly. He observed every opponent's rhythm, posture, and emotional patterns. Before even lifting his sword, he had already mapped their tendencies, weaknesses, and pressure points. This was strategic foresight, and it made him nearly untouchable. Imagine walking into every meeting, conversation, or challenge, already knowing how the other person will react. You don't need magic. You need pattern recognition, a skill Musashi refined through deliberate attention. And you can too. Before any critical interaction, ask yourself, what drives this person? What are they afraid of? How do they behave when under pressure? These answers give you control. Because when you understand someone's inner world, you no longer get pulled into their emotional chaos. You can guide the encounter calmly, precisely, invisibly. Musashi's strategy in modern life, winning without the sword. We don't carry swords anymore, but we face battles daily. An aggressive client, a manipulative coworker, a partner's emotional outburst. Each moment challenges our mental stability. Musashi teaches us that reaction is weakness, anticipation is power. He once said, "To know 10,000 things, know one well." This was his way of teaching deep mastery, focus, simplicity, insight. Musashi was obsessed with essence, the truth behind the surface. This principle can guide your daily life. Rather than trying to do everything, ask, what's the one skill that, if mastered, would transform my life? What's the one area where clarity would remove confusion? Once you find it, go all in. Distractions fade, strategy sharpens, and with each step you become a player in the game, not just a piece being moved. The Book of Five Rings, a manual for strategic intelligence. Near the end of his life, Musashi wrote The Book of Five Rings, a philosophical guide disguised as a combat manual. It's divided into 5 sections: earth, water, fire, wind, and void, each a metaphor for a mental level of mastery. Let's break them down. Earth, foundation. Know your ground, literally and mentally. Build self-awareness, discipline, and a clear understanding of the terrain you're in. Without this, no skill will hold under pressure. Water, flexibility, adapt, flow. Water adjusts without losing itself. Musashi teaches that success isn't found in being rigid, but in staying true to your essence while adjusting to any situation. Fire, execution, timing, intensity. When the moment to act arrives, strike, not with blind aggression, but with precision. Musashi's fire is focused energy, not rage. Wind, perspective, study others. This ring is about understanding your competition, their styles, flaws, patterns. Learn from their success and from their mistakes. Void, transcendence, intuition, silence. This is the highest level. Action without thought, presence without fear. It's where the mind disappears and only pure awareness remains. These 5 rings are not just samurai philosophy. They are a complete roadmap to mental strength, strategic thinking, and emotional transcendence. Outsmarting is an inner art, not deception. To outsmart someone is not to deceive them. It's to understand them so completely that you no longer need force. It's to see what they don't see in themselves and act from that awareness. Musashi believed the greatest warriors didn't win with violence. They won by occupying the mind of the opponent before the fight even began. In his duels, he would often arrive late on purpose, unsettling the opponent. He'd walk slowly, gaze distant, projecting zero emotion, consuming the battlefield. Psychologically, before lifting a hand, this is the art of presence as power. Your energy enters before you do. And Musashi used that presence to destabilize, confuse, and ultimately dominate without saying a word. You can do the same in any room, any negotiation, any disagreement. Let your silence be heavier than their noise. Let your calmness shake their aggression. Let your certainty unravel their ego. The Two Swords. Innovation over tradition. Musashi didn't just follow tradition, he questioned it. While other samurai fought with a single sword, he developed Niten Ichi Ryu, the two heavens, one style, a technique using a long sword in one hand and a short sword in the other. This wasn't just innovation, it was a rebellion. In a world that prized imitation, Musashi created. And in that, he revealed a deeper truth. To become great, you must eventually break from the path of your masters. You must question, what habits no longer serve me? What truths have I accepted? Without testing, What if there's a better way, my own way? Musashi's path reminds us that strategy is not about memorizing moves. It's about embodying principles that evolve with you. When you create your style, you become unpredictable. And in a world of copy-paste minds, unpredictability is power. The final lesson, the way that walks alone. As his final act, Musashi withdrew into a cave and wrote Dokodo, the way that walks alone. 21 principles that summarize a life of clarity, detachment, and inner freedom. He spoke of avoiding indulgence, not seeking pleasure through luxury, not clinging to life or fear. In short, live free, think deeply, die empty. One of his most powerful lines. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. This wasn't coldness, it was clarity. To Musashi, emotion without awareness is vulnerability. But when you observe your emotions with compassion and discipline, you own them. They no longer own you. His final gift wasn't technique. It was transcendence. You don't need a sword to be a warrior. Today, your sword is your focus. Your battleground is the mind. Your strategy is your self-awareness. To be smarter than everyone else is not about knowing more. It's about seeing more clearly. While others chase distraction, you cultivate presence. While others react, you anticipate. While others perform, you transform. The true Musashi mindset is not about dominating others. It's about becoming undominatable, because nothing outside of you can shake what you've built inside. So here's the challenge. Live each day as if you're preparing for the final duel. Not with someone else, but with the part of you that doubts, reacts, and fears. Sharpen your mind, simplify your path, and never forget. The sharpest weapon you'll ever carry is a calm, clear, disciplined mind.